Hello, this is Deborah with Black Education TV. I'm going to be sharing something very interesting with you all today. This is something that I've shared on Facebook, but I decided I wanted to share it with my YouTube audience as well. Anyone who's paying attention knows that times are becoming increasingly difficult, especially as it relates to living. Okay, now what you're looking at is something that I see as a great option for those who are trying to downsize or minimize their footprint on this planet right now because, again, financially things are going to become more difficult. So we have to start thinking outside of the box. And for many of us so-called black people, we usually jump on the bandwagon when it's too late to do things. But my appeal to you right now is to jump on the bandwagon while you have a chance to explore options such as this. This is an arched cabin, and as you see, it's being advertised for under $1,000, okay, for an arched cabin. I just want to bring a little bit of clarification to this because I do see these as very interesting and very cost effective. Of course, the 1,000 under 1,000 is for the smallest unit, but they do have them much bigger, and the price goes up from there. But even with the bigger sizes, you're still getting something that's really, really practical living. And so I'm thinking, what my thinking is that our people need to consider being more practical in their living versus trying to live these extravagant, westernized, dream-sized lives. Many of us go after the so-called American dream, and we end up falling on our faces trying to keep up with the Joneses, the Smiths, the Browns, whatever. And we tend to overlook options such as this. Now, of course, if you live in something like this, you will have to own land. You need a place to put it. But that's another one of those things that we need to start considering more, is unifying with the purchase of land and doing things such as this. I've seen images of them being arranged in like a village setting. And as you see, they're very attractive looking. They're not, just cardboard boxes. They're very attractive looking. And it's something that I believe if you adjust your mind, you could actually live very comfortably in something like this. And again, my thinking is that we as so-called black people have got to start thinking outside of the box and being less involved in the fake American dream, in which many have been able to achieve that, or so they think. But what we don't realize is that it can be quickly snatched from under you if you don't play by their rules. And so if you start to think a little less in terms of living, you'll actually find yourself a lot more comfortable because you're not trying to impress anymore. You're just trying to live, trying to survive. And again, this style of living is not so bad at all. As a matter of fact, it's very impressive. I'm very impressed with what you're able to achieve with these. There are similar structures that I've seen others build. They have the A-frame homes, and someone else mentioned to us about the yurt homes, and you have dome homes. I mean, there are so many different structures that you can build at an affordable cost if you understand where to look and what to do. Okay? I think we need to start readjusting our thinking, family. When we look at Hollywood and we see what others have, we're trying to get as close to that as possible. And many are realizing, well, I can't get that. But what we do in place of that, what I've seen happen in like the city of Detroit or other urban areas, I've seen our people say, well, if I can't get the biggest and baddest house, I'm going to get the biggest and nicest car or vehicle. And our people tend to go broke doing those things, or we try to dress the part. Or we try to look the part, meaning our hair, our nails, our clothes, our gym shoes, anything so that we can look the part. And so that's living above your means. But a lot of people are starting to readjust their thoughts and wanting less and actually achieving more and having more. Once you get used to not having all of these things that you thought you needed, you actually begin to love the alternative. And as you see, the alternative is not bad at all. It's very attractive, very comfortable, very practical. This is practical living for so-called black people, in which we need to start thinking along these lines and stop being so concerned with all of the foolishness and nonsense that is presented to our eyes as eye candy. Eye candy is nothing but a trap. It's a snare to you. You'll seek after those things and you'll find yourself miserable. But as you see, something affordable can be eye candy too. It just depends on what you do with it. But this is an option that you don't see widely advertised, but you do see the big mansions in the or the big homes, two-story homes in the cul-de-sacs or the suburban areas in these communities that they've established where you have to have a six-figure income just to live there, you see. But more and more, our people are starting to say, well, you know what? I don't think I need that or want that. Give me an acre or two and give me an ark cabin or an A-frame cabin and I'll be just fine. I actually love living in an area that is more peaceful, surrounded by nature. I really enjoy that. When we lived in Michigan, we had that for a period of time after we left the city. We lived in Detroit for a good portion of our lives, and then we moved to some of the surrounding communities in Detroit, like Westland, and we've also lived in Wixom, just areas outside of Detroit and Belleville. And so living in Belleville gave us a taste of the country life, and we really, really enjoyed that and loved the nature, getting up, seeing the deer in the morning and the wild birds, wild game birds. We enjoyed that. And so we wanted to get back to that. And it's very, very peaceful to have this type of surrounding. And it's not as difficult as some may believe it to be, and it definitely doesn't replace the peace that Abba Yah gives. But even in scripture, it shows where when the Most High wanted one of the prophets to go and meditate and fast, he told him to go out of the city and into the wilderness, into nature, so that he could more clearly hear from the Most High. So there are benefits to living in an environment where you're not surrounded by all the city stuff and all of the distractions of life. And so I just want you all, family, to consider exploring options such as this, and you'll find that it's very beautiful, very pleasant, very pleasant. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end this video now. I just wanted to touch on this a bit and show you some of the things that we've been looking into, and some things that you can start to look into as well. Different and practical living is the way to go, family. I share this information because I love you. I do. And I just want my people to really start to think outside of the box and come to terms with the fact that things are about to change, and the time to make moves in your own life and in the lives of your family is now. And with that, I will say shalom.